thinking aloud, the Housing and Community Affairs Department, she says, "Tell her we got her loud and clear." Sounds like Councilmember Thomas.
Councilmember Cisneros.
Thank you, Mayor. You addressed that we don't know about extending this the suspension on eviction notices.
The Texas Supreme Court to hold back on evictions through the end of.
And so there is still that credit reporting. I don't know if that's a federal thing. I'm certainly in favor. I think everybody's in favor of having this not affect people's credit. So if there is any way local
where the property taxes are frozen.
Okay. Well, you know about it? That's it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Chris Rayner.
Chris Rayner is here.
Ms. Rayner will be followed by Mr. Gary Wade.
Good afternoon. My name is Griselda Reyna. I currently reside in District B. I was going to address Mr. Mayor Turner and Mr. Jerry Davis, but he is not here. I wrote it down. I'm a little bit nervous. This is the first time doing this, but I am passionate. Although it's a lot of risk for me to be here and my family, I'm here to advocate for those that don't have a voice. In 2018, Mr. Mayor Turner, you joined the SB4 lawsuit and stood up for all Houstonians. I thank you for that, and other council members as well. Although I have been impacted by COVID-19, I am certain that my current financial situation is by far better than our undocumented population. Many no longer have employment or the resources needed to self-care and survive this crisis. Sadly, even in the times of COVID, they live in the shadows for fear of being deported. The lack of resources increase their exposure to COVID-19, and this is a great risk to the whole Houston population. These individuals are transmission vectors to all other individuals that they are exposed to. Yet no one on the federal level is going to stand up for our immigrants. So I'm asking you, Mayor Turner, to fight for all Houstonians, fight for my friend Ruth that lost her job. She's a single mother of 3 children and isn't sure if she's going to have a roof over her head within the next 9 days. I've been trying to help her buy groceries so she can feed her children. You see, she don't actually qualify for any stimulus checks. She can't get her income tax money that was supposed to come in February. She's not getting any type of other relief coming to her way. She's waiting, living day by day, hoping on a miracle. So I'm asking you, Mayor Turner and City Councilman, we need rent relief immediately. It can't wait. I'm asking for capping the late fees, and we need to ban the notices to vacate. That's not what I'm asking for. That's the only thing I'm asking for. So that these individuals that are undocumented, they could get through, and not just undocumented, everybody in general that is struggling, they can at least make it through these hardships and not have to worry about whether or not they're going to be able to have a roof over their children. I am an educator. I am part of this community, and I love Houston. And I want to see my councilmen and my mayor love its people with passion, compassion, and care for them in this time of crisis.
Thank you, and let me encourage you, Terrence O'Neill, who is the director of the New Americans department here in my office, mayor's office. Certainly we'd love to work with you. I know we're sending out several different messages now to let people know, people in the immigrant community, refugees, whether you're documented or undocumented, you're available through all the resources that we have that's available. So we want to assure people and let people know that. So we're working on different messaging to send out to people across the board. So Terrence O'Neill would be an excellent person, to work with. He can connect you with everything that we're doing. Maria Montez is another person who's working very closely with him on that initiative. all of the food drives that are taking place between, for example, the Houston Food Bank, HISD, other entities, City of Houston. All of those drives are open to everyone, regardless of their status. But we just need to make sure that we are communicating with people, because I know there's a lot of apprehension and anxieties that are out there. So would welcome your assistance in working with us as we work with you and with so many others to make sure that everybody that lives within our city, that their needs are met, and we don't want to leave anyone behind. Juliet Sister Petch is another one that's working with my task force dealing with vulnerable communities, people who are at risk, and she's also working very closely with this group as well. And then unless something should change, Thursday at 3:00, there will be a press conference primarily focused on this task force dealing with vulnerable populations and communities that are oftentimes operating in the shadows, but we need to let them know that we are here for them as too, okay? So
can I add something? I actually went to a food bank recently because I'm having to make sure that I put all my money in one pot to secure food, because I'm low middle class. I'm an educator and I have 4 kids.
Right.
So just living paycheck to paycheck as a teacher is difficult. But I went to a food bank that was being managed through food bank, and what they gave wasn't enough. I mean, for the 4 kids, I asked for 2 families, because I was thinking I was going to share it with my sister. It wasn't enough. And what they gave, and I was grateful, but I thought about the families that didn't have anything else in the refrigerator, that didn't have, those basic necessities to live day to day, the foods, the basic just beans and rice. And I have that.
right. But I would
And
tell
with
you,
what they gave me, it wasn't going to be enough. It just isn't enough. And that's sad that I know that I'm putting food in my mouth and there's people going hungry.
well, I think they have enhanced their operations. I was out there on Saturday, and what they were giving out, because it was a partnership, what they were giving out was enough food that would last for some families a week or 2. So they have increased their supply. People have been very generous, given to the Houston Food Bank on multiple levels. So we recognize that there are a lot of food insecurities out there, a lot of needs that exist. So, but let's work together. We recognize there's tremendous needs, but we want to assure everyone, regardless of their status, that we want them to take it to participate and be a part of all the resources that are available in the city of Houston. Hold on one second, Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Reyna. I know when you started, you said this is your first time coming to council.
Yes.
But I appreciate your efforts in coming and speaking on behalf of the immigrants and the undocumented community in the city of Houston. Unfortunately, with all this rhetoric that has been going on for some time now regarding anti-immigrants, and then with the passing of SB 4, has only added the fear to the undocumented and the immigrant community. But what this virus has taught us is that we are all God's children, and we are all in this together, documented or undocumented. We are all in this together. I know that our housing authority, Councilmember Thomas and Councilmember Pollard, and council, we are working on trying to see what we can do to help all Houstonians, documented and undocumented, hopefully in regards to housing. So I just want to assure you that you didn't come to speak and no one's listening. We are trying to work on something now. So thank you again for coming out here today.
Thank you, Ms. Reyes.
1 second. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Castaneda.
Thank you, Ms. Reyna. Just want to reiterate what everyone has said, but then also wanted to just take this opportunity to let you know, if you have not had an opportunity to go to the food bank's website, if you do have access to the website, they have a helpline, and the phone number is 832-369-9390. And then you can also, there's a map and a helpline where you can, they can direct you to the nearest food location, the nearest distribution. I think what the mayor said is exactly right. They have increased the amount of food that they are distributing because so many people are donating to the food bank, because we know if we can help people with food and groceries, they can spend their money on other necessities. There will be a grand opening of another food distribution site at the Power Center on Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. and they will distribute food every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. until the end of May for now. And there are several other opportunities, but I think it was important that people can go to the food bank site, and they're doing a really good job of keeping it up to date with the phone numbers. There's also a phone number that you can text, and they will send you back the nearest food distribution location. So if you can help us to get that word out, I tell people all the time that it's one thing to communicate, but are we connecting? And we need people like you to help us connect to the people that need that information. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
And I'm here because I actually asked that young lady to come in, and she was scared. She didn't want to come in. So that's something important. It's actually real. It's in people's minds. They don't want to leave the comfort and the safety of their home to jeopardize.
And we understand that, but we appreciate you being here and helping us to connect to make sure that we can meet their needs.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Raymond.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next speaker.
The next speaker, Mr. Gary Wade,
Ms. Wade is present.
to be followed by Mr. Gary Thompson.
Good afternoon, leaders of the city. How you guys doing today? Good, good, good. Gary Wade is my name for you guys who don't know me. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate the new council members. I think Edward is new, and Sally is new, Letitia, I don't see her, and Carolyn. But in any event, Mayor, congratulations again. I was here about, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago on this same subject, talking about the MWDBE program. And I've been in the chamber for the last hour listening to Ms. Bryant and I think Mr. AFL-CIO talk about the program. And as we all know, the program is really not working like it's supposed to work. So we need to address that issue. 4 years ago, when I stood in front of council, I didn't feel that I got my point across. So what I did was I went back and I started a program called the MWDBE Training Academy to teach MWDBEs on how to address issues that you just heard today. And so what really made me come out today was last Tuesday, I witnessed the city attorney answer a question to Councilmember Pollard as to the city does not select subs. Well, that wasn't Councilmember Pollard's question. The question was, what is the deviation policy? And I want to commend the mayor today. I did hear him say something that I'm very proud to know, that if a prime put a sub on a contract, he stuck with that. The problem is we need to enforce that, because that is exactly what's happening. So in case the council members do not know, and I'm not sure if the mayor knows, but this is not to embarrass the city, under City Ordinance 15, and I think I handed out to everybody, 15, 19 to 24, it clearly says that the city of Houston should have a contract compliance committee. And that committee should not have anything to do with OBO, other than OBO bringing issues to the commission that's not proper. So I think that if we look at the ordinance, and if the mayor and city council decides to select the 5-member panel like it should have, then I think a lot of these issues that's coming before council will not even make it to council. They could be solved at the commission's level. Now, I heard a lot of the council members say that they wasn't really versed on this area of the rules and regulations. Well, let me say this.
1 second, Councilmember Pollard.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Wade. You can have my time.
Thank you. I am the foremost authority in this city